Alright guys, today we're going to vacuum with not a shark, for once, but with a Eureka Altima. I haven't used this machine in a while. It's kind of just been sitting here collecting what we all know is dust. But since it's a yellow color, you can't even tell. So we're going to do natural dirt with this. This thing has a fairly new Heppers filter in it. Fairly new pre-motor filter that's already starting to tear like these always do. Has a fairly new brush roll in it, actually. This has a replacement hood and base chassis thing on it. So both of those are new. Well, not new, but like about half the age of the machine. So they were replaced halfway through this thing's life, because clearly this thing got dropped down some stairs or something, and just this whole... I'll show you guys the old hood sometime, but it's all cracked. And then the chassis had a crack in it, where the belt guide is. I know this hood was around $80 just for the hood back then, and then the chassis was $40. The main freaking everything was cheaper than the yellow piece. You know, there's some days that I really love this yellow color, and then there's some days where I could definitely go without it. Today is one of the days where I actually like it. This machine has all the attachments. I have the original receipt for it, the manual. I do not have the original box, unfortunately, but having the original receipt is almost as satisfying. This machine is in great condition. There's some minor blemishes, but this isn't a history video. This is a natural dirt. So, I know you guys probably want something new one of these days, something besides natural dirt, but I haven't really had much time or energy to do such things. To do these such activities. Okay, you can go in your kennel. You're not in trouble, but okay. So, this thing is kind of noisy. A lot of these Altimas did get blessed with the nasty Eureka motor sound. Doesn't sound like bearing damage. The fan is just kind of unbalanced. I need to clean the fan better. But the main problem is these fans just weren't very well balanced in the first place. Would you look at that? All that fine dust. And I see some carpet powder that the sharks have been missing, and now don't go in the comments and be like, yep, told you, sharks don't clean well. This carpet, you gotta look at it. I mean, this is thick, deep down, and it's very dense. It's not just shaggy and fluffy, it's very dense carpet, so it's very hard to clean. Like, you cannot see the bottom of this carpet. It's literally impossible to see the bottom. So all the fibers are very tight together, so it's very hard to clean. Same with this one. So there's always going to be some carpet powder. This one's like kind of like the far. It's not very dense. It's very spread out. So you can see the filter's already pretty dusty. As you guys heard, this thing does make quite a bit of noise. So I definitely need to work on that motor a little bit better, make it sound a little nicer. The only thing is this machine is my childhood vacuum, and sometimes popping that fan housing off can put risk to the motor, because if you bend the fan housing, if you crack the fan housing, you're kind of screwed. I would obviously get a new motor. I've had this thing for my whole life, but I wouldn't really want to do that. I don't really want to have to put a new motor in this thing. So when it does come to doing this motor, it's going to be very patient with it. I want it to sound good. Currently right now I'm okay with it being a little bit louder for the little bit that I use it, but sometime in the future I will definitely tear it down to the motor. I have tore it down to the motor and cleaned out the fan, but I didn't take the fan housing off. I kind of just used a Q-tip and got all the loose dirt that was on the fan from the little hole, which doesn't really thoroughly clean it. So, to unplug the thing. Definitely grooms very well. Very good. It agitates well. And here I had it on the medium setting. Normally I put it on the lowest setting. But the belt's pretty worn out on this, so it would have just bogged down. This machine does actually have quite a bit of airflow and suction. Not the best, but not the worst. Could be a lot worse. I never even used this clip thing because it's so stiff. My grandparents actually owned this before me. They bought it when I was literally born. And for ever since I can remember, my grandpa always just kind of tucked it into the cord. And when I got older, he kind of explained to me, like when I was like 6, that it was just way too, I mean, look how small that is compared to the freaking cord. Oh god, you guys can't even see. But yeah, that was kind of the reasoning for that. This still works. The duster doesn't really like to spin, but it will spin sometimes. If you kind of help it, then it'll spin by itself. Hose is still in good shape. Yeah, like I said, all the attachments. This turbo brush has like maybe 10 minutes worth of time on it, so it's also in pretty good shape. Obviously, it's dusty from the one time that I used it, because they don't keep themselves clean very long. Yeah, it says True Clean instead of Altima, but that doesn't bother me too much. Could be a lot worse. I tried putting the original hood back on, but it vibrated too much because this side was broken, and it actually cleaned a lot worse because the old hood didn't make a good seal. It was leaking a lot of air, so. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned for more.